The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Pollard streaks in. Touchdown. Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now, your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick Walker, and Kyle Yeomans.
It's a draft week episode of Talkin Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, let's bring Cowboy Joe back in here, right? Feels like a Victory Tuesday, but it is a Victory Tuesday.
It is a Victory Tuesday, Kyle.
It's because we're back. We're back in the building. We missed last week.
That's facts.
Hope you guys enjoyed a week off from the show specifically. Patrick's been working. I don't know what you've been doing. Where did you go?
Oh, so you know why? You want to know why it's a Victory Tuesday,
Yeah,
Kyle?
why is that?
It's a Victory Tuesday because the Seattle
Dallas
Kraken,
Stars.
Dallas Stars are tied up 2-2. I'm looking forward to watching that. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the second round. Because should your team make it to the second round, and should my team make it to the second round, then both our teams collide in the second round. And I'm going to find a way to be at the game here in Dallas if the Seattle Kraken and the Dallas Stars meet up in the second round.
You want to lose in person. I respect that.
Oh, you know what? I represent, baby. Win or lose, I'm still going to rep my team.
Or lose.
That's
what the focus.
Definitely lose.
Absolutely.
Definitely lose.
As long as that puck drop, there's a chance that we might win or lose.
Hashtag Texas hockey.
That's why they play the game, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Play-
Stars.
Hey, but guess what? Both our cities are in the game.
Yep.
All right, they're both in the tournament. You know what I'm saying? Both tied up. Y'all got a chance for redemption tonight.
I think if that happens.
Is that a jersey bet?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think there needs to be a bet somewhere in there. I think there needs to be something.
Mine's in the car.
Maybe we'll all go to the game together.
I go to the car right now. You know what I'm saying?
Because I would absolutely love to go through the Kraken to help on the path to hoisting Lord Stanley's cup.
I hope we both make it.
Yeah, if that happens, it's turning into talking hockey next week. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, well,
Forget the
we'll
draft.
talk about the draft a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
we'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah,
there
is a draft this
There
week.
is a draft, isn't there?
There is a draft this week.
So that's the big thing. I mean, we go into news and notes, and I mean, all of the news and pretty much all of the notes have to do with the NFL draft. Now, there are a couple sprinkled things in there, but of course, we had the Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Mike McCarthy press conference, the pre-draft presser yesterday. A couple nuggets came out of that, Patrick, something to look at whenever you're going into draft prep this weekend.
Indeed. And the thing to realize or remember is you heard this first on Talking Cowboys, that we three anticipate that the Cowboys would be interested in potentially trading down out of number 26. And Jerry Jones all but confirmed that those discussions have begun in the front office. And Stephen Jones chimes in and says, hey, don't rule out potentially moving up. But it felt as if there would have to be a particular player in mind to move up, and we know who that player would be. It would probably be Bijan Robinson. Yeah. Now, there are some others. There are a couple others.
There are a couple names.
Yeah, there are a couple other names that if they came close to 26, Cowboys probably wouldn't risk waiting until they got to 26 to see if they were there. So they'd probably jump a couple spots. But obviously, the headline name everybody wants to know about is Bijan Robinson. But I think that, again, I think Bijan Robinson is going top 10, most definitely top 15. Stranger things have happened. Hello, Sedarian Lamb. That said, if the odds go as they should, which is Bijan is going, Cowboys could potentially move down, get another pick. And Kyle, you've done all of the homework. You know this is a draft where you would love to have an additional pick.
No doubt.
Because it's so thick, it's so thicky from round 2 to through round 5 as far as what you can get. So the Cowboys, that's going to be the headliner from the biggest takeaway from yesterday's press conference, is that the Cowboys are open to moving down, which is more likely than moving up, but they haven't ruled out potentially moving up.
Yeah, I don't think they are stuck at 26 is the biggest thing out of yesterday's press conference, because it was early and it was often throughout the presser that they talked about the movement potential, whether that go down, stack up a couple picks, or use a couple picks and go up and get a guy that you were really, really confident in. I think you need to add Darnell Wright, the offensive tackle, offensive guard flex from Tennessee. I think he would be a trade-up target. If they decided to maybe move up into the late teens, he would probably be there too, along with Bijan. And that's something to keep an eye on moving into the weekend. I thought some of the non-draft storylines were kind of interesting as well because Josh Ball kind of came up in the middle of it.
One. Josh Ball is.
I see what you did there in the middle of it.
Yeah, in the middle of it.
He started taking some offseason work at left guard. And the Cowboys are interested to see what they can potentially get from him in that position, but they haven't completely assigned him to that full time. It's more of a flex role. They're basically filling it out. It's not as much of a direct transfer as like an Isaac Alarcon would be, a direct transfer to the opposite side of the ball, and then he's going to be full-time defensive line. But Josh Ball, for my money, didn't necessarily acquit himself well when given the opportunity last season. And the Cowboys are now looking at that and saying, okay, well, we need some help on the interior. What can you do? But, and I tweeted this yesterday, that doesn't preclude them from getting a tier 1 guy at left guard if one falls to them. So if you're talking about whether it be, Wright or Cyrus Torrance, or if it's, Avila out of TCU, if one of those guys are available at 26, it doesn't matter if Josh Ball is taking reps at left guard. They're going to grab one of those guys. They also made 3 transactions on yesterday. And I know some people are wondering if that kind of hints at what direction they're going. I don't know that it necessarily does, but maybe it necessarily does not. So they moved on from Ian Bunting, the tight end. They moved on from Devontae Bond at linebacker, and they moved on from Isaac Taylor Stewart, the defensive back. All 3 released with failed physical designations. So I know some are seeing the decision to waive Bunting, and they're saying, oh, well, it's definitely going to be tight end. Not necessarily. I don't think that decision is – because you couldn't really factor Bunting into the equation anyway.
No, nothing against Ian Bunting, Isaac Taylor Stewart, and Devontae Bond, but those aren't necessarily needle movers at each of those positions.
They're not. Now, I will say this when it comes to Devontae Bond. When we were having the linebacker conversation, and we said – you know what you get from LVE, and you know what you're probably about to get from Damone Clark, which could be a breakout season as early as year 2.
That'd be great.
But behind Damone Clark, you have no clue what you're getting. And that was already a group behind Clark and LVE that were basically just practice squad guys, hoping to get some actual reps. And now you just lost one of your practice squad guys. So you need that much more help at linebacker. Not saying that means you go linebacker in round 1, but it does mean that you're going to draft yourself a linebacker.
Because of that, Isaiah, I mean, the year 1, the year 2 jump has been talked about quite often since Mike McCarthy got here in Dallas, because he even said it yesterday. Years 2, 3, and 4 are the crucial components of your football team to where you grow. He said yesterday, you don't grow as much through the draft. You grow through the guys that are already here. And they're bringing back a couple guys at linebacker, but how imperative is it to have those guys like a Damone Clark step up and fill that hole and then supplement that and sprinkle in some talent from the draft?
Yeah, you got to do a little Salt Bay. You got to sprinkle a little extra in there, a little E40. Sprinkle me, man. For some of y'all West Coasters.
Man.
You need those guys to step up and play big.
Tell me where to go, Isaiah.
Yeah, tell me where to go. You need to go get a linebacker. That's what you need to go do. Okay,
That's where you got to go.
You need to go get a linebacker, because even though you know what you're going to get out of Van Der Esch and Damone Clark, Michael Parsons would drop back there occasionally, but we know that's not his living quarters. Okay, that's his second residence at this point. So you need to be able to go get a guy who lives there. You need a guy that can make an impact. Obviously, the draft will show us what is available there. I'm hoping that they can go get a guy, hopefully around the 3rd round or so, that can fulfill that role. If they can't, there are still guys sitting at the crib that are available as well. So, and let's not forget that just because you're drafting rookies doesn't mean that guys are not on the trading block. So there's plenty of opportunity within these this coming weekend to fulfill majority of the roles that need to be touched on at that linebacker position.
And that's something Stephen Jones touched on yesterday in the press conference, is that keep in mind there's still work that gets done after the draft. So you want to stay true to your board and try to get the best draft class possible. But coming out of draft weekend, that doesn't mean the work is done. Look at Jonathan Hankins. You didn't get him until October. All right. Look at Anthony Barr. You didn't get him until training camp. So they're contributors and what we like to call them mercenaries. There are mercenaries who are still going to be out there after the draft. And those mercenaries, a lot of them, especially when you're talking about the higher profile ones that remain in free agency right now, they're sitting back and on purpose, they're waiting to see what teams still have a particular need, like at linebacker, for example, before they choose who to sign with, because that dictates the value and the market and what kind of bag they can get. So there's still some chess to be played after this weekend, but it'll be fun to watch what the Cowboys do come Thursday, Friday, then Saturday, but also Sunday, which is undrafted free agency day.
Yeah.
Cowboys have started to do very well in that capacity as well. Hello, Peyton Hendershot.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I think the Cowboys have had an advantage on the rest of the league is that Will McClay does not stop at pick 259.
No, he does not.
He stops at player 450. I mean, he does everything he can to bring in the best talent. I mean, a couple of the guys that you just mentioned that were released have been on the roster the last couple years, and were all three of those undrafted free agents. So Terrence Steele, you could throw him into the conversation as an undrafted free agent. They have hit that pool of players very well over the last couple of years, and in doing so, it's built some of the talent and filled in some of those holes. But what is a position Dallas cannot afford to leave the draft without? What would be your position overall? I want to say we've already talked about this specifically, but let's go ahead and hit it again for those who might have missed it.
Let's go down the line. You have to get an offensive guard.
Got it.
You have to get a linebacker.
Yes, sir. That's what
you have to get a tight end who has the capability of blocking.
Okay.
You have to get a guy. Yeah. You have to get an interior defensive lineman. All right. And I feel like you have to get another cornerback.
Okay.
Explain.
I'm thinking about the cornerback thing. So expound on the cornerback thing for me.
The cornerbacks that you have drafted of late have not made the contributions that you were hoping for.
You can say the name.
Huh?
Kelvin Joseph.
Names.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. Kelvin Joseph has. I am not on this team of retaining Kelvin Joseph. Okay, I haven't been. I mean, no disrespect to him. It's just from what I've seen on the field. It's just what I've seen on film. Okay, what I've seen on film and things outside of that as well. I don't see the value there aside from the fact that you drafted him high. That's probably the reason why I'm not a general manager is because I will cut bait in a heartbeat. Okay, once I realize that it's not a fit. So I think that they need to go another direction in that regard, or find somebody who's going to be able to provide adequate value for that type of draft pick or just that position alone. You don't get a lot of guys at every position. And that's what people have to understand. You don't just get a plethora of guys, right? At the cornerback position, you're going to rock with 6 guys, right? You're going to rock with four safeties. Okay, that's a fifth of your team. Damn near. You know what I'm saying? That's almost a fifth of your team already, right? And then you're talking about offensive line. So you got to understand that every guy who's on your roster at any particular position has to be able to fulfill their role. And some guys you have the pleasure and the ability to be able to sit back and watch them develop, and the other guys you don't.
Right. Yeah.
Other guys you don't, depending on what you have in front of them. Right, so everybody does not get the same bandwidth. Everybody does not get the same, amount of rope. Depending on your draft status and depending on how many guys are in front of you, depending on the health of the guys in front of you. Tyron, right? You got guys like that. So you have to get guys that are ready to come in and play. I don't care if they're taken in the first round. I don't care if they're taken in the 5th or the 6th round. They got to come in and they have to fulfill a role.
I feel like, and I'll get to the cornerback in a second. To answer your question, Kyle, I feel like you have to, and I'm right there with Isaiah and have always been in this regard. You got to get an interior lineman, which i.e. left guard, and you got to get another tight end. And it boggles my mind continuously to see some fans tell me and just say out loud that the Cowboys don't need a tight end. I don't know for the life of me what you're actually analyzing here, because yes, we are all three very big proponents of the Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot combo. We are proponents of it, which is why we all said, hey, if Dalton Schultz walks, so what? Right? So what? You're good at 1 and 2, or 1A, 1B, however you want to look at it.
Or 2 and 3.
Or 2 and 3. But or 2 and we'll talk about that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But what you don't have, we talk about the release of Ian Bunting, which wasn't a contributor. He wasn't a contributor. You saw Sean McEwen make some contributions last season, but didn't necessarily become that impact guy. You got Seth Green on the practice squad. You don't necessarily know what you're getting there. He was signed, a former player out of Houston. But outside of your top 2 guys right now, you should be nervous at the tight end position. So, yes, you do need another impact guy. And if that guy happens to be a road grader as a blocker as well, who can also, when called upon, stretch the field, he can out-muscle guys. I'm talking about a particular guy in Darnell, but there are also guys, Mayer is one. And Laporta is one. And I spoke with Lunda Wells, and Laporta was one of the names that he put out there as well, along with Darnell Washington and Mayer, some of these other guys that he's interested in. But yes, tight end, you got to address tight end. So those 2 have to be done: interior offensive line and tight end. Now, when we get to cornerback and linebacker, you got to have linebacker. And we already said it 100 times. You got to have a linebacker. But at cornerback, here's where I struggle. I feel like it should be addressed in the draft. I don't know that it's a need.
Must-have.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a must-have because of Stephon Gilmore. Not only Stephon Gilmore, because you got Trevon Diggs, and the way the Cowboys just played it with CeeDee Lamb by exercising his fifth-year option, if that deal doesn't come to fruition quickly, and they want it to, but if it doesn't, then you still have a franchise tag available to hit Trevon Diggs with in 2024. So you're not worried just yet about losing Diggs. So you got Diggs, you got Gilmore, and you love what you saw as far as trending forward on Deshaun Wright. But, I'm just back at boundary guys.
Gotcha.
Right, so Deshaun Wright, he's trending there. Israel Mukuamu, when he was given the shot at cornerback on the edge, you love there, but he's also a big slot. Now transitioning to the slot conversation, Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis, who expects to be healthy this season coming back from that Lisfranc injury. I think that you are, I'm not going to say all set because injuries happen. I just talked about Jordan Lewis.
Yep.
You're not all set because you're never really all set. But I think that cornerback is a position where if you're in round 4, for example, and there's a talented tight end and you haven't addressed tight end just yet, which I hope you have, but if you haven't, or linebacker, you take one of those and you say, well, we'll get the cornerback in the 5th. And I'm fine. If you get a cornerback in the 5th round, I'm completely fine with that.
That's where I'm
It's a developmental player.
Right, unless their name is Deron Bland. But I'm completely fine with that. I would even say I'm fine with taking a cornerback in the 6th. I wouldn't wait until the 7th to do it. But if you took it in the 6th, I would be comfortable with that because of the current roster at cornerback.
I don't disagree with you. I believe that once you get around the 4th round, I think they need to start looking towards cornerback. And the reason why I say that is because you need that room to be as competitive as can be.
Absolutely.
You have guys that are still developing. You have guys that are showing some promise. But the reality is, in this league, this is a passing league now. This is a passing league.
Do you not think Stephon Gilmore makes that room competitive?
I think Stephon, but he's not the youngest whippersnapper around either.
No, he's not.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I try to, when I'm thinking about these things, I'm thinking about the what ifs.
Okay.
The what if scenarios, right? What if Stephon Gilmore, his age shows up and something happens, right? He tweaks something, okay? Now you're down to who?
That's the worst case,
That's worst case scenario, right? Yeah. So you can't put all your eggs in that basket. Everybody's talking about J. Lou. Well, guess what? I know a little thing about a Lisfranc injury.
Do you?
A little bit.
Do you?
And I can, and I hope and I pray that he comes back ready to rock and roll. But my experience is that he's going to have some things to deal with on the way back from that injury. Okay, so I don't expect him to come back and be the same guy that we've always known him to be. That's going to take some time. If it's at the level that in the experience that I had, okay? That was 10 years ago. Okay, so I get it. However, I'm not going to put that responsibility on. I'm going to hope, but I'm not going to put that responsibility on. So I'm going to act as if something's going to happen to Gilmore. I'm going to act as if J. Lou is not going to be the guy that I expect him to be, because that's almost unfair. So I need another. Deshaun Wright and Mukuamu, they're still figuring it out. Guess what? Let them battle it out.
Yeah.
Let them battle it out.
Yeah.
Now, there's still things that I need to see from them. Right? So I'm all about competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Cream's going to rise to the crop, or you're going to quit.
Yeah. I'd say you have to draft one. But my point being, if it's before round 4, I think you do too much.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's interesting to think about because you only have a certain amount of picks. You only have a certain amount of draft capital that you can go. I would love to address every position in the draft.
Just can't do it.
There are going to be some that are left out. There are going to be some. They want to go get a quarterback. They may not get a quarterback. They said it earlier in the offseason. They may not end up with a quarterback again.
The thing is, you're in a position where there's a lot of positions you don't have to address. You don't have to address quarterback. You don't have to address offensive tackle.
Don't have
You don't have to address defensive ends. You don't have to address safeties. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but when the value pops up, that's the other thing. Because at some point, value outweighs the need. Because there is going to be a player there that's better at X position. Edge rusher is a great example. There are so many good edge rushers at the top half of this draft. They very well could draft an edge rusher. And we have some scenarios in the first round coming up in our next segment.
It's not impossible.
Yeah. I know it's not. I know everything's on the table, but like, and everybody has different.
They don't need it. But the value is there.
I agree, and you know what? And that's why my philosophy, my draft philosophy is different.
The value was insane.
Yeah, exactly. My philosophy is totally different than a lot of other people's. Right? I'm willing to bypass on some talent to address a need.
You are more needs based.
Needs based, because I'm trying to fulfill a roster.
And they,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to fulfill a roster. I'm not trying to fill as much talent as I can and then figure out the holes later. That's not my philosophy. That's not mine. I'm not going to say now if there's some crazy value right there, I'm not going to blow right by it and be like, no, I need to get this position. Right. But I'm saying if it's close, like, hey, this dude's a beast, but guess what? This dude's pretty doggone good too, and he feels the need that we have. I'm going to go with the need that we have because guess what? Now, holistically, my team is better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And outside of last year, I think they've done that. Mm-hmm. I think, and you could even argue in the first 2 rounds, they've done that almost every year. Where last year they went need-based in the first round. They went and grabbed a Tyler Smith. Worked out great. Then you went with a value-based. So you go grab a Sam Williams in the second round. Mm-hmm. Year prior to that, you grab Micah Parsons. That was a need-based pick. Correct. Where'd you go in the second round? You went with a need-based pick there as well with Kelvin Joseph. Mm-hmm. So things have lined up in the past where they have drafted for need. But then you go to CeeDee Lamb. And you go to Trayvon Diggs.
Exactly.
Both of those were value picks. So
and that's just craziness, right? That's just craziness falling to you. You're just like, okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
You just say thank you.
I operate on the sliding scale, and I don't think that anyone should operate all the way needs based or all the way BPA, because either way you're going to put yourself in a bad spot. No. Sooner or later you're going to put yourself in a bad spot. So you go in and you understand what your needs are, but you build the board based on the best player available, and then you say, okay, well, how does this tie into our needs? And then that's the robust conversation, and that's your draft plan going in. Of course, you're going to have to pivot, you're going to have to adapt because this guy's going to fall, this guy's not going to fall. What are you going to do on the fly? But for the most part, you stay true to your board, and for me, the board says that you should already have it set up as more BPA-based than needs-based, because you're going to end up addressing your needs if you play the weekend as it should be played. If you play the draft weekend as it should be played, you're inherently probably going to address your needs, but you have to keep an eye on those, like I said, those insane value picks where it's like, okay, right?
Can't pass them.
Example, running back. That's a perfect example. I believe Tony Pollard's going to be perfectly fine. I believe the Cowboys are going to get a deal done with Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
You went and got Rojo. I believe in Malik Davis. If Bijan Robinson is there at 19, if he's still on the clock at 19, I believe you better be on the damn phone. Yeah. Right? Do you see what I'm saying there? You don't need a running back.
Trust me. There's certain shoes that I wear, and I'm good on shoes. But guess what? If I see it pop up 50% off, I'm going to get them.
That's what I'm saying. Same thing I said on Twitter yesterday.
Okay.
Cowboys don't need a running back, but I'm also not stupid.
Along those same lines, I've got a couple of names I want to hit. I want you to grade the pick before the pick. And we're going to give you some names at 26 that have been rumored for the Cowboys over these last few weeks. I want you to give me an A through F grade. How did they do if this ends up being the pick on 26?
Okay.
We'll tell you that whenever we come back with more Talking Cowboys right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Are you ready to take coffee off your grocery list forever? Black Rifle Coffee Club is here to help. As a coffee club member, you'll get your favorite coffees roasted, packaged, and shipped to your door free of charge on your preferred schedule. Set it, forget it, and never run low on coffee again. Members also get exclusive deals on coffee, products, and discounts from partner brands. Ease your mind and let Black Rifle worry about your coffee supply. Go to blackriflecoffee.com to join the coffee club today.
Want to use the Cowboys locker room's favorite products? Check out the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. Right now, you can get the Jack Black Playmaker, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The Playmaker includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word Cowboys. The Jack Black Playmaker, $10, free shipping.
No one knows where this market will go. Things could change tomorrow, next week, or next month. At Merrill, we've been here before, and history shows this is the time to stay focused on your future. Because through every market, the bull will always have your back. Find an advisor in North Texas at ml.com/bullish.
Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do?
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor. Member SIPC, a wholly owned subsidiary of Bank of America Corp.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here with Talkin Cowboys as we continue on, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company. And you might have noticed we've got some sweet shirts on today. Yeah. How about this? Academy and Magellan have created that favorite combo, and it's back for a limited time only at Academy, Magellan Outdoors, and Whataburger. Is the combo that you need to get ready for the summer. Shop everything from apparel for the whole family to Wata bikes, drinkware, and more. They didn't bring us a Wata bike.
I want a Wata bike.
I want a Wata bike. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
For your best summer ever. So there you go.
Message.
Teaming up again. Limited time collection. We've got Patrick over here.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this shirt. Can we get a close-up of this shirt? This is a fishing shirt from Magellan.
This is clean.
Phenomenal build.
This is clean.
And it's got all of the different condiment stickers on it. That's what it is. It's all the condiment stickers, and you're a huge ketchup guy.
I was going to say the only thing that would make this shirt better is if they went ahead and just blotted out the ketchup stickers.
What about spicy ketchup?
And that's always the comeback. Every time I say that, everybody's like, "Well, what about the spicy ketchup?"
But it's incredible.
It might
Their
be.
fancy ketchup's the best in the business too.
But I tell you what, I go with the gravy on the fries.
Ooh.
Gravy on the fries. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've not tried gravy on your fries, you're welcome in advance. Okay? Make that happen. And then what I'll do is on my patty melt, once I'm done with the fries, because inevitably there's gravy left after you're done with the fries, you dip the patty melt in the gravy.
Bro, you're gonna be on the toilet for the whole night.
Stop. No, that's not true. Now, you also have the honey butter too. You could dip your fries in the honey butter.
That's fire.
And that is fire.
We got Whataburger recipes.
Now, Isaiah, I want you to show your sleeve off.
You want my sleeve?
Look at these.
Yeah, look at the patches.
I mean, don't rip it off.
You have the biceps? See which one you at there, huh?
Yeah. You've got all the patches there. Very nicely done.
Yes, you see that right there?
Nice.
There you go. Available only at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Get ready for your summer fun with exclusive clothing. Mine's got a dog on the back.
Like a lot.
It's a dog and a boat.
Yeah.
How about that?
I'm on a boat.
There you go.
I'm on a boat.
You do
dog
realize
in a boat with a Whataburger bag.
You do realize that we've sat here and talked about Whataburger to the point where I know exactly what dinner is.
Oh, dude, I'm starving already.
Exactly.
Why are we doing this at 10:28?
Mouth is watering. I'm just, yeah.
All right, I've got some names.
Why are you so great?
Oh, Beamer. You see Beamer.
Oh, we
with
forgot
the
about
shirt.
Beamer. Look at that shirt.
With the fishing shirt.
Oh, yes. We got Beamer hooked up as well in the back.
Fire.
Crispy clean.
Special thanks to Whataburger and Magellan and Academy.
What size shoe you wear? I got some shoes that match that.
Ooh.
9.
Nope, not gonna
so
work.
Fresh and so clean.
Beamer with the backwards hat, too. Backwards hat, the headphones, and the camo fishing shirt.
Full Romo with the backwards hat.
That is a great shirt. I love that shirt.
That shirt is dope.
All right. I got some names, and we're going to stick with the orange theme first, okay? How about I've got a couple of orange colleges that have had some players rumored to the Cowboys at 26. I want you to give me an A through F grade.
Who's volunteering for this one? Orange.
I'll start with Darnell Wright from Tennessee. But this is a trade up scenario. So you give up your third round pick to go and do it. What would you grade the pick? Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, offensive guard flex, destroyed Alabama on a couple of occasions, had fantastic film at right tackle, where he looked far more comfortable than he did at left tackle, but he did play both at Tennessee, and he does have some inside flex. What would you grade the pick if you give up your third rounder to go and get Darnell Wright and shore up things on the offensive line? He would be your day one starter at left guard, Isaiah.
You know, I don't like these guys flip-flopping, man, but they don't have T. Steele under contract beyond this today, right? So,
yep. But beyond this year.
Yeah, that's what I'll give up a fourth. I couldn't give up a third.
So what would your grade be if you gave up a third? Because that's kind of what it's going to have to take. You had to go up to 16 or 15 to get him and jump in front. You had to jump in front of Washington, and it would take your third round pick.
I gave it a B.
B, okay. So you feel pretty good about it.
I feel good. That 3 is going to hurt you.
It's going to hurt you. Yeah.
But you feel a big void.
What would happen, just curiosity, if it was at 26? If Darnell Wright fell to 26.
Oh, I'm doing cartwheels, booty butt naked.
A plus?
Absolutely.
A plus?
Booty butt naked cartwheels.
Okay.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Streaking across Tostitos.
Yeah, through the quad in the
That's
Coliseum.
why I threw in the trade up, because I don't expect that to happen. I don't think he will be there.
Okay, so you're giving up the third rounder.
Giving up a third.
Where'd you move to get him?
To 15.
B.
Okay.
Because that third round is going to sting. Oh my God, that stings.
Get to the end of day 2 and you're just sitting there looking at all those,
now keep in mind,
prospects.
You could flip it and not flip this particular pick, but you could work to get that pick back. It might cost you something from 2024 to get that third rounder in 2023 back. So that's on the table. But that notwithstanding, that third rounder hurts. But and another reason it's not an A is because he's not plug and play at left guard. He'd be more plug and play at right tackle. But
I would plug and play him at left guard and be okay with it.
Let me be more clear. He's not nearly as plug and play as a Torrance or an Avila would be at left guard.
Correct.
Because you would plug and play him because you need him there.
Yeah.
So, but he does give you the added insurance of should something go awry in the contract negotiation with Terrence Steele, then you have your definitive right tackle as well. So, I'd feel good about it. It would sting mightily, but
Wouldn't that hurt your conversations with T. Steele?
No,
I doubt it.
No.
And also, you think about it this way too: is if something goes wrong,
just keep right at left guard, and there you go.
Yeah, if something goes wrong with T. Steele, then the tackles of your future are Tyler Smith at left tackle and Darnell Wright at right tackle.
That's why I give it a B.
Yeah.
I would ride with that.
That's why I give it a B.
Yeah,
and then we're still keeping an eye on Matt Waletzko as well.
Just a couple of the third-round picks that you've had the last couple of years: Jalen Tolbert last year. The year before, you had multiple third-round picks: Osa Odigizua, Chauncey Golston, and Nashawn Wright.
And you saw what Osa did last season, and you see where Chauncey is trending. And Nashawn still has some development to go, but he did help kind of save you from falling into a black hole opposite Trevon Diggs. So, that third rounder, I mean, the jury is still out on what will happen with Jalen Tolbert. But that third rounder is going to hurt. But given the value, I'm fine with it. Because I would argue that Wright is a top 10 pick. So if he's if he's available at 15, then you still get him. Great value.
Yeah. I'd give it an A- if they went up and did something like that. Go and grab Darnell Wright. I would still, even as much as it would hurt. And on the draft show, when we're sitting here and we're doing our wall-to-wall coverage, I'm going to be upset whenever we're not picking in the third round. But I will be happy knowing that our offensive line has been shored up for the future.
Nice and snuggled up against
Darnell, so from the Whataburger orange that Isaiah has on his shirt, we go to a little burnt orange. Bijan Robinson, no trade-up needed. He falls to 26. What would your grade of the pick be? Bijan Robinson. We'll let Pat start on this one.
A+. No trade-up needed.
Okay.
Bijan Robinson.
He falls.
At 26.
CeeDee Lamb situation.
It's the CeeDee Lamb situation to the max.
I don't think they would trade up to go get Bijan. I really don't. I don't have that feeling. What I have the feeling of, though, is if he is there, they're going to run that card in before they can
you absolutely have to
blink.
This is top 10 talent, one of the best athletes, arguably the best athlete in the draft. If he's there at 26, and this is coming from a person who, again, and I lead the running backs matter train, but I also understand that given the Cowboys' current setup at running back, you don't need a running back. So I'm looking in not late rounds, but later than the first round. So we'll see where Jahmyr Gibbs goes. But you talk about Devon Achane, for example, and some of those other guys that you could Tony Pollard your way into in the third and fourth round or something like that. I'm totally fine with that. That being said, I'm also not stupid. So if Bijan Robinson is there at 26, you make the pick and you figure the rest out, and it's an A+ for me because you're getting 5 years of control. For Bijan Robinson before you have to really worry about a second contract, and maybe you give him a second one, maybe you don't. Doesn't matter. The window of opportunity to win the Super Bowl in that 5-year span is just wide open. You just blow it wide open, right? So A+ if that happens.
I'd give it an A as well. Isaiah, what are you thinking?
Is Avila available?
Yes, of course. I don't think I think he may be available at 58. I'm not very high. I like Steve Avila, but I'm not a massive proponent of taking him at 26. I'm not. I'm against taking him at 26.
Whoa.
I am. I would rather have Torrance. Easy money. Give me Torrance over Avila every day, and it's not even close.
What kind of in and out take is that?
It's not. You can see my top 100 later. It's not.
It's not a Whataburger take.
I've heard people say he's in the fourth round. I'm not even. You talk about Steve Avila's been a hot button name. Not for me. Even though I like him as a player in the second round,
that's fair.
I'm not there at 26.
If one of your primetime O linemen that you would like is there, and you choose Bijan over them, I'm not a fan.
Okay.
But you know what you could do though, and this would make the Isaiahs of the world, which I'm right there with you. This is why I know this would please you because it would please me as well.
Okay, talk to me.
Bijan's there at 26. You pull that trigger, you take him, and then you move up from 58.
Yeah, then you go get an
your next
or
pick,
a Torrance.
Give up what are you going to give up?
Well, to move up, it depends on how far you're going. Are you going from 58?
You're probably going to give up your third.
You give up your 30 again.
No, you'd probably give up a fourth at that point. Maybe a fourth and a sixth or something.
Listen, let me just.
You can get your.
I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, dude, what the heck is wrong with you?
You can get your guard on day two.
Listen, I think the only person that sees eye to eye with me on this particular matter is Nate Newton, and I say that because
he's going to
as great a talent as Bijan Robinson is, and some of these other skill position guys are, they're only as good as the guys that are in front of them blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Agreed.
If I have a dominant, and I mean dominant offensive line, I don't need a dominant running back.
My one, and I know
that's
this
a
is
conversation.
This is
because
college.
you're not wrong, but it's not that cut and dry either.
And
you know it's not.
This is college to the NFL. Wait a second.
Go ahead.
College to the NFL. Bijan Robinson did not have an offensive line at Texas. That offensive line was poor.
Understood.
Very, very bad.
Mm-hmm.
Still Doak Walker Award winner. He was the nation's top running back. He was first team All-American. He was first team All-Big 12. He led the FBS in scrimmage yards. This offense, even though there are holes on the offensive line, you can convince me that this offensive line is good enough to block for a Bijan Robinson. You're not the worst offensive line in football, and you still have a Bijan Robinson. He's going to be an incredible running back for you right now. Now, is it the best offensive line you could possibly have? Absolutely not.
Do you have concerns at the running back position? Did you have concerns at the running back position last year?
No.
Do you have concerns now?
Yes.
Not as I'm not as solidified, but I also wouldn't say it's
concerns.
The answer is yes. Let's be.
You have concerns.
Yes.
At the running back position.
What is your concern?
In comparison to last year when I had
just in general.
concerns?
Do you have concerns? Are you worried about, are you going into this draft like, ooh, man, we got to have a running back?
No, I just said no.
Okay.
I said that earlier in the show, no.
What do you have?
I say that.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is,
I absolutely think they need a running back.
I don't think that it's I mean, I think they need to add to the position. I don't think they need to go get a big dog like this, right?
Who's your running back in 2024? Who's your running back?
Tony Pollard's going to sign.
Here's my concern.
You don't know. I mean, you don't know, right? But he's going to sign.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But he hasn't yet.
I feel like you can find running backs.
Even if he does, which you can't guarantee. Even if he does, Rojo is a one-year deal. Okay, you want Malik Davis to develop, and we believe he can, but until you see it, you don't see it, right? So am I as rock solid as I was last year with Pollard and Zeke and Malik? Absolutely not. But I'm not so concerned that I believe it's a need because rewind to the top of the episode, I don't believe it's a need. I believe that it needs to be addressed.
Correct.
That being said, again, if Bijan Robinson is there at 26, I'm not stupid.
No,
I'm not. I guess my whole approach to this is 99% of the teams in the NFL are running back by committee. Mm-hmm. There's one dude in this league that doesn't need an accomplice.
You said 99%. I don't know if that's right.
Okay. what one running back does not need a
Derrick Henry.
Thank you very much. Other than that, everybody needs a tandem. So what I'm saying is you're going to have a running back by committee no matter what. No matter what, you're going to have a running back by committee unless you are 6'3", 250 pounds, running a 4.4.
Would you call Saquon Barkley a running back by committee? Would you call Dalvin Cook a running back by committee? Would you call Kenneth Walker a running back by committee? No, that's a number one running back and then a number two and a number three. That's what that is.
So what if
it's not running back by committee?
Position to you that you get Bijan at 26 if he's available, which is just a grand slam.
Understood.
Okay, and then in the second round, you address your IOL. So you bolster your IOL because there's going to be someone that's really good that you can plug right into left guard and upgrade that offensive line.
There'd be a solid second round guard.
So what if you could do both? Like you remember that meme, that GIF?
When
the little girl, she's like,
both?
"Why not both?" That's how I feel. Why not both?
You know
what? The draft doesn't
and
end.
We're saying the same. And we're saying the same thing. You're just valuing a running back over what I'm valuing in line.
No. I'm not. Positionally speaking, I am not. I'm with you. Positionally speaking. Positionally speaking,
Correct.
I value the offensive line over the running back.
Okay.
But value conversation.
Understood.
The value of Bijan Robinson
Understood.
at 26
Understood.
trumps my positional value.
Understood.
That's what I'm saying.
What's your letter grade if Bijan's the pick?
I mean, I give it an A, but it's not an A plus.
Okay.
That's fair.
So we're arguing over an unlikely possibility of an A to A plus.
It's a hell of a talent. Listen, I'm not discrediting. This dude's a hell of a talent.
Yeah, we don't take it.
But I'm thinking about being dominant.
Sure.
In whatever aspect of the game you choose to approach.
I feel like
passing and running. I want to be dominant at the offensive line of scrimmage.
If Bijan is there at 26, that means you just went full BPA because of value, and I'm fine with that considering who we're talking about. But that then swings the pendulum because
then you got to go
the
need.
law of physics. It swings the pendulum equally in the other direction, which is now pure need, which is offensive line.
I don't want to care about Washington Commanders D line. I don't want to care about Philadelphia's D line. I don't want to care about the New York Giants D line.
Give me all of them.
Don't give up. What did Chris Tucker say? Yeah. That's how I feel when you have a dominant O line. It doesn't matter who steps up, and it doesn't matter who's behind them.
My thing is, and everyone would do well to remember this: the draft doesn't end.
Nope.
At pick 26.
No.
You just figure out.
Oh, you don't have to tell Cowboys fans that.
I need to tell them that all the time.
All right.
You just figure out where you're going after that. That's all.
All right. We need to take our second break, but I've got a couple more names for you that we need to probably fly by. But we've got more coming your way on Talking Cowboys.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Black Rifle Coffee Company serves premium coffee to people who love America. When you drink Black Rifle coffee, you are directly supporting veterans, law enforcement, and first responders in your community. Black Rifle's expert roasters love coffee almost as much as Texas loves football, so it makes sense that America's Coffee partnered with America's team. Go online at blackriflecoffee.com and fuel up with the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. That's blackriflecoffee.com to fuel up today.
Hey, honey, can we talk?
Of course. What's up?
Well, I just thought you should know I've been curious about the new Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream.
Have you felt this way a long time?
No, I just think I'd really like the taste of Dr. Pepper, swirled with layers of flavor.
If you feel that way, I think you should try it, babe.
It's amazing. I mean, you're amazing too.
New Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream. The new flavor you deserve.
Want to use the Cowboys locker room's favorite products? Check out the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. Right now, you can get the Jack Black Playmaker, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The Playmaker includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word Cowboys. The Jack Black Playmaker, $10, free shipping.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company. Final segment with Isaiah Stanback, Patrick No-C Walker. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Again, special thanks to Magellan, Whataburger, and Academy for these sweet shirts. We're going to be rocking these all summer long. You can get yours now only at Academy. All right. I've got a couple other names. We got to fly through this. It won't be as big of a debate, I don't think.
Quick.
Dalton Kincaid, tight end from Utah. If he's the pick at 26, no trade-up needed, he falls again. What would your pick be there? What would your grade be? I would say it's a solid B+. I don't think it's as fun as Bijan. I don't think it's as impactful as Darnell Wright, but I still think it's a hell of a pick. Give me a B+ on Dalton Kincaid, and I would ride with that, and I'd be exceptionally happy if he's a selection. What do you think?
B+ as well.
B+? You think of Pat? You make kind of a wince there. Are you against tight end?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Not as far as getting one because again, it's a need and you got to have it.
Are you against Dalton Kincaid?
No, I'm not against Dalton Kincaid.
At 26.
I'm just against Dalton Kincaid at 26.
Really?
C+. C+.
Okay. What if I told you he's probably going to go in the top 15?
C+.
Okay. Still C+?
Because I'm also looking at what you could have if you didn't go tight end at 26, what would likely still be on the table at that position.
Okay.
So I'm looking at it from a macro.
It is a really good draft.
I'm looking at it from a macro. So the C+ is not a knock to Kincaid whatsoever as much as it is me saying, you know what, you didn't have to go tight end at 26. And if you were to do that, is Mayer available? Is Darnell still available?
Okay.
That's the conversation I'd have.
Okay.
So,
how about this? Michael Mayer. What is your grade if he's the pick at 26? He was the next name I had on the list.
B.
B? So better than Dalton Kincaid. I think I would go with a B as well.
Mayer is better than Kincaid.
I think Kincaid is better, but I think Kincaid's a better player, but I also like Mayer. I don't dislike Mayer.
So we have the same principle, same thought process, which is, you're fine with it at 26 if it's this particular guy. It's just that you like Kincaid more than Mayer. I like Mayer.
I'd be okay with either one. So I think both. I have a first round grade on both guys.
Yeah, it's not a fail if it's Kincaid. That's why I said it's a C+.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still passing.
What if I tell you I want Darnell Washington over both of them?
You wouldn't be alone, but you would still be in the minority.
That's fine. I've always been a minority my whole life.
Talk to him, King. Talk to him, King.
You know why?
Because in the minority.
Because he fits the mold.
In the.
Talk to him, King.
You see, different. My brother.
The manifestations of the constellations. Of the constellations.
He fits the mold of what you need.
Brother.
Oh, God.
No secret. I'm absolutely huge on Darnell Washington, both subjectively and objectively. But I don't. Even I, being as big as I am with Darnell Washington, I don't think that you would have to grab him at 26. I think you got to get him way before 58. But that could be a trade down scenario where you go down from 26 to like 30, 31. You
I
still
think
got
that
Darnell.
would be a
I want 6'7", 270.
So if you go down from 26 to like 30, 31, you get Darnell.
6'7", 270 with some injury issues and kind of labors to get going off the line of scrimmage, but he's a hell of a blocker.
I need him to block.
No, that's pretty much what he would do as a rookie.
I need him to be Tim Duncan in the paint on the goal line.
If you give me,
that's all I need him to do. Block and then go box somebody out on the goal line. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Darnell Washington at 30 with an extra pick. That's patty melt delicious. That's what that is.
Okay. Okay, stop doing that. Osiris Torrance, trade down scenario. Osiris Torrance, what would you give that grade?
A.
A?
Plus.
A plus. Trade down, you get an extra pick, and you sure up your left guard spot.
I'm with you. A plus. A plus. I'll toss a plus on that.
I think I would say A plus too. Yeah. I almost gave Torrance a first round grade because I think he's that dominant. I didn't. I gave him a 2. But I would be totally fine with that.
Why do you hate Osiris Torrance?
I don't hate Osiris Torrance.
You did that to me with Kincaid.
I did do that. I love doing that. All right. Last one, and then we'll say goodbye, and we'll get you ready for the draft.
Woo!
This is, if you had to tell me right now who I think the pick will be, I think it's this guy. Will McDonald, edge rusher out of Iowa State. You just had a pin throw. That's what we call on the draft shows a pin throw. Why do you hate Will McDonald? What?
First of all, we're a Whataburger family. Second of all, we don't need another edge rusher, especially that high.
Okay.
You're loaded up there. You're loaded up at the pass rusher.
For now.
For now. But that's not a need. That is the least of your needs on your whole roster.
Yeah, but I'm also one I would take an edge rusher any day because I want to get at. You talk about being dominant.
God, that's like you
talk about being.
That's like you having.
You were a proponent of taking Micah Parsons.
That's like
2
you
years
having
ago.
6. Yeah, he's a freaking specimen. 6 white button-ups, Kyle, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna grab another. It's just like
I've got
what?
7 white button-ups, and I'm okay with it.
For what?
Because I can rotate them through, and it keeps me
still
fresh.
Kyle, you still need
me fresh.
You still
every
need
day.
a blazer. You need a blazer, and you're out there buying more whites. White long sleeve. Yes. Don't get the blazer, man.
There's no such thing as too many white button-ups.
I was like, I don't have a blazer yet, but I got 7 of these.
If that's what I wear, that's what I wear.
Hey, man likes what he likes.
Jesus, no.
I love me some Will McDonald, but I also love some of these other edge rushers like Derek Hall, for example. I mean, like you could get a home run pick at edge after 26, and so as much as I love Will McDonald, I'd probably give that a D.
Wow.
I'd probably give it a D. Because again,
Like
you got to balance
F.
it.
F.
You got to balance it. It's BPA and need, and Will McDonald. I would struggle for you to convince me. You would struggle to convince me that at 26, even if Will McDonald is there, that he's the BPA. So that means he's neither BPA nor need. That's a D, and D is a failing grade in a lot of school systems. So yeah,
man, that's.
I'm not going to go full F because of his talent level. So it's not a full F, but it's an absolute D for me.
This is going to be a fun show next week if Will McDonald is the pick.
His
talent is what keeps it from being.
I'm gonna save the show here, and I'm gonna say a B+ because I really do like Will McDonald.
Nothing against that. I'm talking about the position.
Love McDonald.
I love adding an edge rusher.
Do you believe he'd be the best player available at 26 if he's there? If the answer is no, then he's neither BPA nor need.
No, you're right. I see what you're saying. I understand.
What rotation is he in?
I would put him.
Is he your first, second, or third rotation?
You're taking reps from Sam.
He'd be your second rotation.
He's in your second rotation.
Yeah. He may be in your first rotation. He may be a starter above Dorrance Armstrong because you have Micah technically as your little linebacker tool back and forth. Will McDonald is more.
Dorrance has had a career year.
Dorrance is a great player, but Will McDonald
is D-Law not on your first? Hold on, am I missing something?
No, D-Law's there too.
Oh, so
I'm saying three guys.
Micah Parsons?
I'm saying three guys.
No, you're not saying that. We're talking about DNs.
But that's the thing about Dan Quinn's defense. He finds a freaking way.
I know, but we're talking about
he
traditionally.
Finds a way to do it
if
regardless.
you only have two DNs in the game at one time.
He doesn't play with two DNs. He plays with like 7.
Kyle, you gotta have a vision.
Well, that's what the third.
He has a vision. That's what I'm saying.
You got Donovan. You re-signed
Dan
Dono. Dono's your other edge rusher.
That's fair. Exactly.
4th round edge. There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Well, we'll see what happens this week. Should be interesting. Draft coverage starting at 6 p.m. on Thursday. Tune in to the draft show throughout.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, well, let's get going. I'm ready to get to Thursday. Let's get this thing rolling. All right, that does it for us here on Talkin' Cowboys. For Chris Beam, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick No C Walker, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long. We'll see you next week after the draft with more of Talkin' Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?